Hello. I know I said I wasn't going to do another video for a while, but I just can't help but do this Christmas thing. Just because, yeah, I said I was going to do it before Christmas and stuff. So, it's like a little lesson on light working. Light working, light working. So, let's going to go back to the basics of science. This is a tree, a pine tree, a Christmas tree. Now, you know how they say, like, Christmas trees are evil, they are blasphemous, and stuff like that. Okay, a long time ago, back in the day, the original purpose of this was actually to release spirits to heaven. Now let me tell you why this is a light working thing, it's a spiritual thing. And this has also been proven as a science thing, but not really, but kind of. So, now, of course, you get your presents under the tree and stuff. So, well, bleh. I am terrible at teaching, but I gotta tell you this anyway. Now, in science, they have proven that a pine tree is fractiled in the 7 fractiles. It starts here with the big branches and then goes up in a spiral and it fractiles out as such. And that's how it grows, literally, okay? So, anywho, as it photosynthesizes, it takes in all the light from, the sun. And as we know in elementary school, it goes down to the roots. But with pine trees, the light itself also comes back up, which helps the tree grow. But the energy itself shoots its beam of light that we cannot see from our own eyes, but actually there are animals out there that can see it. So therefore it does exist, and science have proven it. So it shoots a beam of light straight up into space, okay? So, as we know, like, trees can talk to each other, they can, they have the frequencies and stuff. So on positive ley lines, it's really amplified and powerful. On positive ley lines, you'll find a lot of pine trees. So that's a positive thing, right? And also, so the tradition was, we have orbs, right? And they're part of ornaments that go on the Christmas tree. And they used to be like crystal balls, and they also were now later called like witches' balls and things like that. They can, and they go on the tree. But the spirit of your ancestors hang out in that little ball, like a little house, right? So even sometimes they'll like put like things from the ancestors that are personal inside the ball, so they can like attract them to the little lovely home that they've made for them, right? And so now there would be a star on top of the tree. The star represents the ancestors, home, going home to the star where they originally came from, because we were all one stars, and this was actually known a long ass time ago, and it's not new news. But now the thing is, the Christmas presents is very important. They were tied with red bows, signifying, that the red is binding. A red candles, candle wax, you put it on a box and you can bind whatever spirit is into that box. You seal it. Red roots, the root chakra, you seal it and bind it. it's actually significant with the color it gives off gives a certain frequency and a certain vibration and energy, which, you know, um, for some reason it works. And it's just been that way ever since the days of your hate. And yeah, I could give you the math, the frequency. I don't have a big old chalkboard, or else I would actually have all the mathematics, systematics. But you can also go on Facebook and all kinds of like other things and Google it, why the red ribbon is, or of the fates and the Greek and the Celtics and even the back to the Christian days and the Gnostic days and stuff like that, why the red ribbons and red things were significant, in portray of, King David and stuff like that. But so these gifts, they weren't from the parents. They're actually, the parents would get them for the deceased to their children, like the grandpa. It's like the grandpa's deceased, so they give the kid a gift wrapped up from the grandpa to the child, okay, from the parent. So you got your parent, your child, and your elder. Anyway, so your elder or family member or whomever is happily in this little ball in this tree. And on Christmas Day, the day of Jesus's birth and stuff like that, even though this is a Celtic thing, they do very much so believe in Jesus and stuff. It's really just very much so a lot more complicated than people think. Mary and Martha actually came from France, and they were Queen and Princess of Avalon, and it's very much so that this has been proven. Just FYI to the people out there, grave history, castle history, architectural history. It's basically what I follow more so than just storytelling history. So anyway, yeah. So the day that Christmas comes, that very, very morning, the kids run down and go, "Yay, it's Christmas morning, and let's open up the presents from our deceased, family members." And so as the sun rises, that's actually the most powerful time during the red dawn, that the photosynthesis of these pine trees are the strongest, and the amplifiers of, the beam is actually strongest too, and also being on Christmas. So, because, Jesus made the door for us to make the way to heaven. And this, I don't know why they became with this tradition to do this, but somehow they knew it back in the day that maybe like there was a Pacific people that could actually back in the day see the aura of the trees and actually knew when the light was actually emitting from it. Who knows what was really going on about 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. Even in the time of Teo, Teo predicted Jesus is coming 2,000 years before, anybody else did. They just called him the sage, just give it different names and said it in a different way, but it still is the same. Anyway, so the children would open up the red ribbon. Now, unopening this red ribbon unbinds the spirit of the ancestor from the material world and into the spirit world, where it can become one with the light of the tree and go up the spirit and up to heaven, and nice and happy too, because of their joy from the charity. Charity is number one and on the Jesus's good list, and Santa's good list and stuff like that. So, and the joy of the children from the parent, from the elder, creates that generational um, binding and unbinding. So through the bloodlines and through the bloodline of the red ribbon line, wrapping, gifting, joy and happiness, and that joy and happiness also emits to the tree because the children are around the tree, doing it, with all the love in their heart, and everything's just joy, and that really, really, really amplifies the joy of this tree, and it brought them to heaven, and it released them. And they really, really believed this, and I don't know if it was just based on, what you make true on earth, and God will make true in heaven, so therefore, they were able to emit one with the light, one with source through the tree, and be able to be up through the portal from the tree into heaven. So anyway, there is in math and in science that it was proven with the spirituality. There's no way that anybody has actually proved it, but because, like many things that they turned into evil and the devil as far as entrapment being here on earth, what people fall for, it's just like, I'm going to whip you to death, but it's a good thing, I'm going to have you suffer, but yeah, come on, people, really, seriously, and God and boy, they really pulled one over our eyes, I tell you that much, man. But if you really just keep an open mind to science, and I'm not talking about science religion like freaking Tom Cruise and shit like that. That's just nuts, That really kind of went overboard a little bit on a lot of stuff like that, But, all right. And here's another thing. Now, people, I know that you want to believe this, okay? And I know all you light workers want to believe this, okay? But there is a prophecy. There's things that are written in your destiny, in your fate, all right? So think about this for a second. If you are in control of your timeline now, you are in control of your choices. Yes, of course you're in control of your choices. You got free will. But you have a path that is written, all right? This is why things disappear. Now you have a written path, all right, that is written by God that you follow, and if you veer off this path, it's not going to go so well for you, but the path that God has made for you is meant for your ascension. It's always, going to be positive, good, straightforward, on the winning cycle for you to be, at your best, especially for lifetimes to come and to come to come, all right? And learning your lessons and blah, 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 blah. Heaven on earth and stuff like that. So, anyway. Yeah. So, now think about this, all right? If it was already written, then how would you have control over the timeline? All right, think about it. Now, you can have agreements over what you get to pick and choose and this and that. But when things disappear from your timeline, think about it. Your vibrational frequency is always shifting, going up and down. You can hear it. A lot of you all are starting to hear it in your ears. And this is going up and down, and this is also the frequency of your timelines, all right? Now, if you think about it, stuff that you might have put somewhere, you might have put it when you were in another timeline, but you didn't do it on this timeline, all right? So therefore, you didn't do it. And also, deja vu, if the TV agrees with you, then you're on, it's like the universe is in agreement, you're on the right timeline, you're on the right path, stuff like that. And so therefore, Anyway, there's a lot of Stargate things that have came into physics. If you really, really want to learn, you have to kind of step outside the United States mentality. All right, you have to really, really dig deep into, like, go to Tibet and go to Japan, Singapore, the Philippines, uh, all kinds of places in Asia, of course, but there's so many other places, the Aborigines. I mean, come on, they've known this stuff. They know how to work the timeline. This is how they move and maneuver through what they do. Except they do it naturally and it's not any kind of formulated science that they did. It's just something that they've always known to do, because that's the way it was. And the same as the Christmas tree, So, therefore, now you know why things disappear. But you have to kind of accept the fact that the source and your higher selves and what you light workers agreed to what your destiny was and how you talked, as you all believe, talked to God, made an agreement of the mission and being here and stuff like that, what you're saying. Think about what you're saying, all right? All right, this is all true, and with the Bible it's all true, and with the fates it's all true, and stuff like that, all right? This is the path, the fractal path. All right, you can go off the branch if you want. You can go on this little itty bitty teeny tiny step and come out here, but the path is to go up and up and up and keep growing, all right? So that's the correct path to get to your higher selves and your higher timeline and your higher blah, 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 everything, But you can step off the path if you want. You can choose to do that. And, that's okay, because the path is always going to be there for you to keep going up. It's kind of like chutes and ladders, It really is. So, anyway, that's why things disappear. Because sometimes you never bought it. Sometimes on that timeline you didn't put it there. Sometimes you chose something else in that particular timeline of yourself. Anyway, so if you really want to think about it, it's not so much chaos physics more than it is string theory. If you look at string theory, how space spectacular moves that light through the earth, it works with the same theory that how the synapse works. And if you connect the string theory with how the synapse works, and if you can connect the way that light works, because all light is just information and that's it. So, and even the nerves in your hands, how you feel and everything is light. It's light, and the same with the trees, same with the stars, same with everything. Same with computers, same with the drones, same with anything really, etc., etc., etc. So, anywho, yeah, just FYI and all that kind of fun stuff. Now, the right path is the right path, and if you follow the way of the source, you follow the way that it was written for you for your destiny that you've already discussed with your higher selves, the way to your own heaven and your own, or whatever your mission is here on earth or purpose and blah, 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 and etc. You're going to ascend perfectly great. But these are things that are already written, all right? This is how prophecy works. This is how you follow the white rabbit. This is how deja vu works. This is how they are able to send you messages, throughout the timeline and have even a television agree with you. I mean, how does that happen? Because your path is already freaking written. That's why. So how the fuck can you create your own timeline if it was already freaking written in the first place? Sometimes some of y'all are ancient beings here, that this has been written for you a long time ago, and history does repeat itself, and that history is actually another thing that is entrapping us here is by the, the power of say-so. The power of say-so is what corrupted everything, and also the betrayal that happened. There's a really, 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 really long story behind all of it. So, but anyway, Merry Christmas, Happy Lessons, and praise baby Jesus, and, growing up Jesus. Praise the sunshine and the Father. Anyway. And y'all yuppies owe us composition for burning us this whole freaking time and using us as warfare stuff. Yeah, okay, you're forgiven. We love you. But now you know how we feel. So, anyway, God bless you all. I swear to God, humans are awesome. We love you. Thank you.